everybody. Hello. Hello, hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Now that I see you, your smiling face. What's going on?
Nothing much. How are you?
Doing good. Doing good. Y'all come on in, get a seat. Have a seat at the table.
Yes.
You
Get your
guys
drink.
last week
Get
as we
all.
were preparing for shutdown. I missed you.
I know.
I saw you in Asia. Y'all did a good job.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that you're back.
Yeah, is she coming on tonight?
She is. She had to she was eating and then she had to throw on a shirt really fast.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll give her a moment.
I'm sorry. Oh, my background noise. Sorry.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yes.
Hey, Amy, welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes. Make sure you all continue to
Like and share. Come on in, have a seat. Okay. And my phone on, so we can keep it nice. I don't understand this phone because let me tell her I'm gonna have to call her back. Yeah. Client. All right. Come on in, everybody. Let me go on and share this on my page while we're waiting for everybody to have a seat. Come on in, sit nice and close, everybody.
Yeah, I'm trying to get up here so I can share it too. Because I had a new phone and then I'm just trying to figure out things on it.
Did you go iPhone?
No, I did not. I did not.
Sorry.
I didn't. But I'm a Droid or a Samsung or however you want to say user. And I like it. I like it. Yes, I do like it.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. So how have you been? Because now we're a week almost into not being in the salon and not and still quarantining. Are you quarantining?
I am quarantining. I am for the most part. I don't know if I understand exactly what quarantine means because as I was explaining to you, especially to my friend Paula, I'm a stay-at-home person anyway. I'm a homebody. So this is pretty much what I do anyway.
Okay.
I know a lot of people who are used to going out and doing this and that. They're having a hard time because, they're not used to staying home. So to me, this is good. This is fine. So the occasion that I do go to the grocery store, run to the bank or whatever I got to do, it's my normal schedule. So it really hasn't been, and surprisingly, I haven't been overindulging in eating, which is what I thought I was going to do.
I think that I'm intaking more food than I normally would, which is in a sense it's kind of good, but maybe it's not necessarily what I should be intaking. But I'm definitely intaking more because normally I would have only one meal and then I would work, and then by the time I really kind of eat again, it would be either really late or I just opt not to eat at all. So now I think that I am eating, but I still need to make better food choices.
Like a lot of junk food or something like that? What?
We have a lot of chips, but I'm just trying to not necessarily minimize, but spread it out and not find myself in the kitchen every, 10
just grab
minutes. Right. Yeah. I do try to
do a pretty good job. What do you think, Justin?
I've done a good job.
You've done a good job?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Well, what I have found myself doing though is cooking way more than I think I've cooked in like the last really 2 years, maybe a year and a half. I have found myself doing a lot more cooking, but I think that's also because Asia is home and she likes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're not eating out, so I have no other choice but to cook because she likes to have a meal every day, and because she's at home too, because she's at home, and and not at school. That hello, that it is she just wants to have a meal cooked at home too. So,
well, this is my question then. Okay, so Asia's home, so she's coming back into the picture. Well, yeah. Between you and Walter, because a lot of times, I was reading up. I think it was in the New York Times. They were saying that the people filing for divorce is high because people are sheltered in. They don't have going to work, these other activities that I guess were helping keeping their relationships or their marriages afloat. So people are really filing for divorce now. I want to know, how are you handling sheltering in place?
Well, actually, so we're actually fine to a degree because Walter still has to go to work.
Okay.
So yeah, Walter still has to go to work, and then so Asia and I are home. We in the beginning when she first came home, it was a little bit of a pull and tug. Is that right? Pull and tug. Yes. Bumping heads or however. And then we kind of worked that out because I have to understand that she is 21 and that she had her own way of doing things when she was at school, but we also have our own way of doing things at home when she's not here. So I think that we just kind of understood that we need to respect her space, and that she also still needs to respect our space. When how we were doing things when she wasn't in the space.
Yeah.
So I think for the most part but her and I we're always connected at the hip pretty much. So whatever room normally she's in, I'm in, and we're just talking about things, and because it's just her and I, so we don't have anyone else really to talk to. So we talk to each other about everything.
I think for me and Justin, a couple of weeks ago, how I was saying how I like to be in a relationship, I kind of feel like that stay-at-home spouse because my other job is allowing me to work from home, and of course the salon is closed. So he goes out every day, and I'll try to think about at least what we're going to have for dinner if I don't have dinner prepared. I don't know if I like that too much. It's kind of like I feel really passive. Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I don't know if I like it too much. I don't know if I like it too much. I come home and ask you why the house ain't clean or something like that. And
no, Walter, he hasn't really asked. He's more so like, so what y'all do today? And like something like I have to prepare him before he get home. Like we still in our pajamas.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
yeah. Usually I haven't even changed by the time he gets back. Or if I do, I'll go put on something before he gets home. So yeah, I did something. I'll do something. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I just found myself doing a little bit more cooking than I would normally do, but it's okay because then I think to myself, like, it's like I almost forgot that I could cook. And you see what my mom said, thanks everyone for sharing and thanks everyone who's joined.
Yeah.
But as mom said,
couples, what are you guys doing as far as having to be in that same space continuously, during the quarantine? Is it helping? Is it hurting? Is there a difference? We want to know.
Right. And then like my mama said, yes, Shanika, because when you put your apron on, we know you about to do some cooking.
Yes.
So I've cooked I've cooked salmon cakes. I've cooked like Asian marinating salmon right now. I made some baked spaghetti. I've made, what else did we have? We grilled out one day. We had some pasta, some salad. Like, so it's a lot of things that I'm kind of getting back into the groove and like, okay, I really, like I cut up 3 potatoes and I made them crinkly. So I had like a little thing to make them crinkle. And I was like, okay, so why have I been buying French fries when I could just buy a bag of potatoes? And
yeah, I love it.
So I just had to kind of get back to like, okay, like we really have been wasting money. We really can. If nothing else, that's what it has taught me, that I can really cook at home and save a lot of money by just really buying groceries and cooking at home.
Yeah. Well, of course, what's the whole country is talking about, right? The coronavirus.
Yes.
Still going on. We are unfortunately going to, if it's okay with you, dedicate this show to a good friend of ours who, of course, passed away from the coronavirus. He's a friend to the show. He's been on our show before. Thomas Fields. We call him Chef Fields. I know he never had another brand name, but to us, he was Chef Fields, and we're going to miss him. He came on and did the show. He was on point with Shanika Bell. Yes. And then when we facilitated our vision board, he was one of the facilitators. So he came on, a very nice guy. And he also allowed me to call him. He talked to me when I was first diagnosed with diabetes type 2. He gave me some good dietary tips, how to cook things. And he introduced me to the veggie grill, which is a season, I need to get some more, that I use on my vegetables, and that delicious dish when you mix the zucchini, squash, and the onions and the olive oil.
Yes.
I love that. I haven't cooked in a while, so I'm gonna have to get that. But he's an awesome man, and he's gonna be greatly missed. Greatly missed.
Yes.
Yes. It's just, but you know, I was listening to Steve Harvey, and he said by the time this is over, everybody is going to know somebody who was affected by, if not lost somebody that they know from the coronavirus. And, you know, in 2 days, pretty much, with Chef Fields being one of them, I know somebody, and it's hit close to home.
Yeah. The other day, well, I actually saw the video today. My cousin's daughter got her test results back on Friday, and she was diagnosed with the coronavirus. But she was saying that she has a video up, and she was telling people that, you know, some of the symptoms that she had. Well, she didn't really have any symptoms. She had like 2. She said she had lost a sense of smell and a sense of taste. And then when she
heard that before too, yeah.
And she said when she went to and she works in the hospital. Her and her friend. Her partner works in the hospital, and she was saying that when her partner knew that she was sick because she was just lounging around. She's like, she's not the lounge around type, and she didn't have all the fever, the coughing, all of that. And so they ended up going, and I think it took like 11 days to get her test results back, but still by that time they were already quarantining, and her results came back on Friday that she had the coronavirus. Wow. And she was saying that she was just letting people know that you may be waiting for this fever, or you may be waiting for this cough, but it didn't show itself in that manner with her. Like it presented itself. It just presented it in a way where she couldn't taste or smell anything. So and it was almost like she said her head kind of felt stuffy, almost like a sinus infection. So when she went to the doctor, they treated her for it. They gave her Fluconase or whatever, Flonase or whatever, and then like treated her for a sinus infection. And so, I mean, just be mindful if anybody, if you're in conversation with somebody and that's what they say, and not necessarily having the full-blown symptoms like they have been reporting on the news, the cough, the fever, aches, things like that, you may want to send or recommend that they go and get tested because it may not present itself in that manner.
Right. So now Virginia's in, of course, mandated stay at home. Do you think that's going to help?
To be honest,
the conditions seem a little bit still lax.
Well, I was a little concerned when the governor came on and he said that people can still go down to the beach and exercise, and people can still go to the golf courses and play golf and things like that, because that just still, to me, was a little bit of a concern, because I'm thinking, okay, so you really expect for these people to have a social distancing of 6 feet at the golf course if 10 or less people are congregating at the golf course. And then not only that, like I went to the grocery store today, and on the way to the grocery store, there was still a lot of people on the road. And even in the grocery store, nobody is practicing 6 feet of distancing in the store. It's like, if I need something and you're standing in front of it, I'm going to step in front of you and your cart to get what I need. Nobody's waiting until the aisle clears before they go on it. That's not how that's happening. People are still bypassing each other. They're still coming in close contact with each other. So do I think it's going to work. I think not until it's really, really, really enforced, because he's already mandated it. And I just can't believe that all these people are going to work into the store. Like, I just can't believe it.
I think there needs to be more clarification, because I think it was Sunday we went to Mount Trashmore, right? Mm-hmm. And would you say it was like maybe at least 100 people out there?
If not more.
If not more.
Right.
He's saying you can go exercise, and everybody sounded like we were on top of each other. We walked around the whole lake, but it was a lot of people out there. People sitting down.
Was the amusement park? I mean, not the amusement park, but was the kid part open?
It was gated off.
It was gated off? Okay, it was gated off. Okay. Yeah, but it was the people that were up on top of the mountain having their classes, people riding their bike, all together. It was over 100 people that were out there. Some people were fishing. So I'm like, is this what he means by we can exercise? The park was still open. I know some things he's closed.
Right.
But I don't know if that's going to be something they revisit by putting conditions on you can go out and exercise.
Right, because I still feel like they said, that it's airborne, and they said that it can stay in the air for 2 hours.
Like, I think, what is it, 3 feet? Like somebody sneeze, and then you be walking, somebody sneeze, you walk through it, and
right. So yeah, I do think that there should be a little bit more clarification on what he means by that. Yeah. But do I think that it's just because he mandated a stay-at-home policy? Do I think it's going to work? Not at this point.
Yeah.
Not at this point. I don't know.
I saw on Facebook somebody said the governor reminds you of that dad who like really doesn't want to punish his kids. So he's like, you can go out, but just kind of,
Right.
Yeah, he needs to be a little bit more firm on what he's saying.
And then because for the mere fact that he's a doctor, like he's a doctor, so you understand the rate in which this thing is progressing. So because you know that, to me, you should have a firm foot on this is what it means. This is what I expect. If you do not, because he's like, right now, people aren't being fined, but it's still like a warning, like, so I think that people are still looking at it. And then of course, when you sometimes have the, the person speak on TV who, sometimes acts as if it's not as.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that said, our national shutdown, natural shut-in, do you think that would help?
A national shutdown? Mm-hmm. Perhaps because, in some, I think, it possibly because in some areas, like in Italy, where they've actually confined to their homes, I think the death rate, I think, has decreased.
Yeah.
And maybe like the cases have decreased.
Almost, I think they said they're back functioning normal. Yeah.
And where'd you say?
Right. Where it originated. So they say, So we may do some, do you think you're doing all you can do?
I think so, because to be quite honest, initially before I heard of Fields passing, I was considering doing, being mobile and doing hair. And then when I heard that, and then even with today with Chris Cuomo from CNN, I hope I'm saying his name there, from CNN, and then things like that, it just made me a little bit more nervous about it. But ultimately, do I think that I'm doing all I can? I believe so. Like I had on a mask and gloves today when I went to the store, and I was trying not to talk or touch any extra things. Yeah. And I do not go anywhere socially. I go to the store and back home. Like I'm not hanging at friends' houses, and I'm trying not to go. Well, I'm not even saying I'm trying not to go. I do not go anywhere that I don't really need to be going.
This is what I need a little bit more clarification on as well, because I have friends who they're practicing social distance within the house. Is that supposed to be the case? I mean, husband and wife, because she was like, he goes out a lot to and from work in a public place. So when he comes home, she's like, he takes everything off at the house, goes takes a shower, and even when they sleep in separate rooms.
Well, okay,
immune system. So I was like, is it supposed to be in your house as well, or just when you guys go out?
Yeah, Oprah put Stedman out in the.
Oprah put him in the guest house.
He wasn't proactive. He wasn't proactive fast enough for her. She said.
Yeah, because I think she's recovering from pneumonia from last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, now with Walter, because of course, obviously, he still has to go to the base and things like that. Now, when he comes in, I don't like that he walks around with his boots on, and I would prefer. So he's looking like he came in today, and he was like, "Well, do y'all have any trash? Because we were cooking that I need to take outside." And I was like looking at his feet, and he was like, "Baby, I just have my shoes on because I'm asking y'all, do you have any trash to take out before I take my stuff off?" But I would really prefer that he would just take it all off and wash it every day. Like that would be my preference, that he would just wash it every day. But he says that they're practicing social distancing at work, even with conference calls, that they stay in their offices and then they have conference calls with the people in the office or whatnot. But so, I mean, we still sleep in the same bed and, we're still up in each other's face. So I don't know. Do y'all practice? I mean, how about y'all? Do y'all practice it?
Better for the most part. We know what we're supposed to do, but because we're both fast acting people, like sometimes we don't always like when we go out. I know I have gloves in my car. I have my mask. I don't always wear my mask. I don't always put my gloves on. I'm good with doing my hand sanitizer because it's on my key ring. But even like going out and coming in, we're not really conscious about it being on our clothes and our shoes, and then washing our hands as soon as we walk in the house. We're not.
Yeah.
I would do that. We're both not.
Yeah. So I make them and I wash my hands too as soon as I come in the house. So when I'm in the car, so wherever I am, if I'm going to the grocery store, as soon as I get in the car, I take the hand wipe and I wash my hands, and I have Lysol wipes too. So I Lysol wipe I Lysol wipe my steering wheel and like anything in the car that I touch. And then today, when I got my groceries home, I Lysol wipe everything down too, and then put it away.
Oh, okay. All right. Amy said, did you all hear about the lady that went into the grocery store and purposely coughed on the fresh produce, and the store destroyed all fresh produce and disinfected everything? She went in jail and had to pay, had a lot of charges against her. Yeah, I think like $35,000, right?
Yeah, it was like $35,000.
And then one of the Amazon drivers spit on the package.
What?
People are doing, I put it on my page.
Oh my gosh.
What kind of, just
foolery, because that's exactly what it is. Foolery.
Yeah. And we've done a couple like Grubhub things and things like that, and I've been like, if I wasn't so lazy, I would go pick it up. But then sometimes we like, we just go pick it up if it's just something that I can't tell if it's been tampered with.
Right.
We're here and go and pick it up. But you gotta be careful nowadays because a lot of crazy people out there.
Yes, it is. It is.
What's our topic we can talk about? Brat.
Sure. Okay, yes. So of course, if most of you all who are joining, continue to share, continue to make sure you all come in. We had a lot of energy last week, so we want that same energy this week, you all. So make sure you all respond back. And maybe because I kept on putting up a whole bunch of banners and whatnot, and they were like, oh my gosh. But anyway, so I want to talk about, I'm going to give you a little background story for my question, and not necessarily that we will be talking about her. Hi, Asia. We didn't say hi to Asia. Do we even introduce ourselves? We never do.
No, because the name's right there. But you can introduce her. You can introduce her. You didn't do that last week? Go ahead.
I did introduce her, but anyway, so she's back as our co-host again this week. This is my daughter. For those of you all who do not know, this is Asia, and I'm glad to have you. We're glad to have you on again this week. Thanks for joining us. So let us just tell you also too, we're wearing red to also, like Will said, that this show is dedicated to Thomas Fields because he passed away of the coronavirus, but we're wearing red because he was also a Kappa. So we are also representing the color of his fraternity. So we also wanted to do that. And, just another way of us.
Paying homage.
Yes. Thank you. I'm glad you said that because that was on my mind. You took the words right out of my mouth. Thank you. All right. All right. So background story. Here, I don't know if say yes if you've heard about the story of the brat. I'm going to say the brat. And recently, her relationship has kind of been on social media, and that she is in a relationship with BB Judy, and I'm going to call her BB Judy because I forgot her real name. No, and who she is, the person who owns Kaleidoscope. So if you've heard of Kaleidoscope, the Kaleidoscope drops that are supposed to help your edges and growth around your edges. That's what she's known for. She's big on social media. You know, some good, some bad, some indifferent. She's known for on social media. But as far as I've known, the only I know the brat from the situation that she got into some years ago. Jessica, yes, thank you, Kiana. And some years ago, and then she went to jail, and then she got out, and then she went and worked for the Ricky Smiley Show. But in any rate, there's a video that's circulating around that shows BB Judy or Jessica giving her this gift, and the gift ends up being this Bentley. And so, as we all know, like, you never hear anything about the brat. She's very private. Like, you don't hear anything about her since she's come home from like nothing. She works at Ricky Smiley Show. That's all we know. And so, and then Jessica is a very, like I said, she's on social media. She's this big time. She's always talking about Kaleidoscope, making all these different videos, all this. I just feel like she's very open and not so private on social media. So my question is, with those two different vibes, somebody who's very private and then somebody who's not so private, who likes to videotape things and post things and all that kind of stuff, even in your relationship, do you think that that type of relationship can sustain? One, that's the first question. And number two, is all relationships social media, and I don't want to say worthy, but is it worth putting your relationship or letting your relationship be on social media? Do you think a person who's very private can be with a person who's very open, and then all of your business is out there? Because I think that you're very private. I think that you're a very private person. I don't always post things. Walter, like, he's like, take a picture, and it's like sometimes it never makes Facebook. It never makes anywhere. It just stays on our phone. Right. Because I just think that sometimes our relationship is our relationship, and not that I'm trying to hide him or he's trying to hide me, but I just think that let people guess or think whatever it is. Like, why do we have to post everything that we do? And
I think that's the thing about it, posting everything, because there's a difference between secretive and then privacy. I think for a long time, the brat was just secretive. It wasn't necessary for some reason. I guess I always thought she was out. Same thing with Queen Latifah. I always just assumed they were out, but I guess we ain't supposed to know. But for me, I'm just by nature, I'm a private person. It's no secret, of course, who I'm in. You know, my video was all across the thing, but I'm not the type of person who says, okay, well, we're at the store now. And I'm posting that, you know, we're in the bathroom, I'm posting that. You know, when we're doing something I think is exciting to other people, I'm excited about it, I may share that. But I think in a situation where you have two people from the far extremes, like these people evidently are, if it's a value, if privacy is a value for you, I think it could create an issue. If one person who they're just like, because it doesn't seem to me like it's genuine, it's for show.
Right.
Maybe it's a her brand. Of course, like no one that is very a very private person could be involved with a Kardashian, because privacy is definitely not one of their values right now in life, because they're building a brand. So I think you need to consider that when you get involved with that person. You know, this is a big part of who they are. You know, they're a personal brand, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, that's something you need to consider.
Right.
It probably wouldn't work.
Right. So what do you think? What is your thought?
Now, also can be involved with anybody who's real secretive.
Real secretive? Well, yeah.
I couldn't be involved with the no.
So when you say real secretive, so like somebody who would never post you on social media, because I've been seeing a lot of that going around on social media too.
Somebody who would never post me on social media, or even have what's called a beard, is when the guy has a fake girlfriend, you know, to cover his sexuality or whatever. I can never be. I've not tried. I remember the drug deal I was telling you about. I've tried to date that, and then appearing like I'm his best friend and stuff like that. I can never be involved. I can never go back to that again. No, yeah.
Oh.
The extreme. I can never be involved with somebody who always taking pictures and we in bed, and
Right, because I think that some areas are sacred. Like being in bed, that's a sacred place. Like nobody needs to be in our bedroom, in our bed with us. Like I just don't think that that's the place. Like maybe, like you said, like if we're out to eat and it's like we're at my favorite place, like I always take pictures,
stuff like that.
Yeah, but yeah, not in our bed. Like no, that's way too much. That's an overboard to me. Okay, well I'll come back to you in just a second. So I'm sorry.
And you said I'm a private person also, but an open person, if that makes sense. What does that mean? I'm a private person, but also an open person. Elaborate on that a little bit.
I think that, like she's like, I think that's kind of like how we are. Like we're private in a sense, but like I think us too. Like we're private, but we don't mind opening, but we're gonna only give you so much.
Right.
Like we're not
all
right. Like we just said, we're not going in our bedroom, but like if we're just sitting there, like I know people who video everything, like every day it's a different video. It's that they're all about their household and what's going on in their household. And look at the kids, they over here doing this acting silly. Or look at my husband. I asked him a question and look how he reacted. Like sometimes when you catch this, it's like, how do these people catch these impromptu videos? Like how do you catch these? I don't understand how you catch your child doing that. Like your child just did that and you just happen to catch it on video.
Happen to have the camera on. Come on now. I think it's possible. I just think the partners need to know and understand each other and respect each other's boundaries. Right. Boundaries. So a conversation definitely has to be had.
Yes.
Hey, Kiana.
Yes. Hi, Kiana. Yes, it's your turn.
Well, I think I do agree that you have to respect each other's boundaries, but if people are like extremely like social media based and someone isn't necessarily social media based, I feel like it might be some conflict here and there, because I feel like for me, I don't post every day, and if I were to be in a relationship, I wouldn't feel the need to post us every day. But some people, now the thing is, like some people, especially my age group, like won't show the person's face. And I feel like now, if you can't show the person that you with face, then he might be on other people's stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I would prefer someone that is similar to me when it comes to being either somewhat private in my life. But that's just me.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I don't know. I just think that, and is social media really a place to display? Well, I mean, I guess we're kind of answering that as well. But yeah, what is some of y'all? Come on, y'all were on point last week. Like we had a fabulous time last week talking. I need that same energy. Let's go. Did you?
Did you?
Oh yeah, I did. I need that same energy. Come on. Like, do you want to be private? Like Kiara, you always have something to say. Is it a private moment? Do you like being private? Do you post pictures of you and your spouse? Do you think it's necessary?
Oh, and I also think got excited. I also feel like when you are the one to post your relationship a lot, as soon as something happens, people are gonna be so quick to talk about you, like, oh girl, they over there arguing, or girl, they not together. Girl, did you see their post? Did you see this? Did you see that? So I'm like, don't give people a reason to have something to say. I feel like.
You say amen. Okay.
What Justice said? Amen. Justice said amen.
Amen. Why are you? Exactly. All right. Okay. Nobody else has anything to say? They're listening. They're just listening. Okay.
Yeah. Y'all get hype and then y'all go back. Like, come on.
Hey. Maybe our dedication kind of put them in a somber mood. I don't know, but he would want us to have a good show. So, Emilia Clarke, she's on Game of Thrones. I've never seen 8 episodes of Game of Thrones.
Neither.
Emilia Clarke, she was on the Game of Thrones, and she says she had terrifying nude scenes because she had the pressure to please her fans. So it says Game of Thrones star Emilia Clarke spoke about her experience filming intimate scenes on the HBO show and the pressure she sometimes felt to participate in on-screen nudity. She said when she was asked by a podcast host if performing nude scenes is terrifying, she said she described some of the early scenes as virtually rape scenes that are very aggressive. The actress is quick to mention that the fellow co-star, Jason Momoa, was helpful in guiding her on the set. She said, he took care of me. He really did. In an environment where I didn't know I needed to be taken care of, where the actress said she's a lot savvier now about indicating what she is and isn't comfortable doing. She explained that there was pressure to perform a certain way for the fans. She said, I've had fights on set before, and I'm like, no, the sheet stays up. And they're like, no, you don't want to disappoint your fans. And she's like, shut the F up. So I want to know, do you guys have that need to please? When is the last time you felt that you were forced to do something that you really didn't want to do? And when was the last time you had to stand up for yourself and just say no? Do you have a need to please? I know sometimes I do. I have a need to please, unfortunately. I feel bad letting people down. I'm getting better. Life is teaching me, because once you see people taking advantage of you, you'll exercise that muscle. But I know way back in the day, I was worse off having the need to please because I always felt saying no was mean. It was mean to say no. I didn't have those boundaries. What about you?
Okay, first of all, we have 2 comments from our last topic. So let me just read those really fast and then I'll answer your question. Some people, Walter says, some people post their daily routine on Facebook. I think it's overused. Kiana says, some folks just be looking for confirmation and attention from all the wrong folks. Exactly. And then Walter says, yes, Kiana, attention getters or attention seekers or whatever. But yeah, I think that's that too. And some people just can't move in their day-to-day without having people comment about it. And I just think that you need to have your own validation. You need to validate yourself and not because, it's a lot of Instagram livers.
No, yeah.
Meaning that, they own on YouTube and, and they put up this facade for these platforms and then their real lives are jacked up. So you can't base or base your reality on what you think somebody else's reality is because it's not always such. So that's that. Okay, so back to your question. So I think, and I'm going to speak for Asia and I don't know because this may be something different for her, but during Christmas time, I think that was probably the last time that during Christmas that, okay, for me, so I won't speak for you, that I felt like I was being kind of forced to do something I wasn't necessarily wanting to do. My husband, we had plans, so I'm not gonna say my husband, but we had planned to go to Kentucky for Christmas, but we were driving. And I was just like, I don't want to drive. And so I was talking to Asia about it. Like earlier that day, I was talking about it. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going. I don't want to go. And so we came home. We expressed that to my husband. And we thought we were clear that we weren't going. So my husband, I think he felt a little disappointed. Like, okay, like we could go this year, but just next year, we're not going. So I felt like, so then in our minds and me and Asia's mind, like we weren't going. So then he proceeded to buy plane tickets and we ended up flying home anyway. And en route, so it was just still a lot because even though I wasn't wanting him to buy plane tickets and all that kind of stuff, and I was set on just staying home because I feel like, why should I have my family on the road? And it was during that time when everybody was, people were talking about, human trafficking and sex trafficking and all this kind of stuff. And it's the holidays. And why does my family always have to get on the road? Because nobody else's family is coming to visit us. It's always me and my family on the road going to visit people. So I just felt like, no, I'm not doing it this year because we always miss out. It's always something that we miss out on. So we either miss out on Christmas or miss out on the New Year because we're on the road. And then by the time we get home, it's tiring. So I just feel like at this point, I have to, when I say I'm not doing something, then I'm not going to do it because it takes away from me. Now, if you feel like you still want to do it, you can. And that's fine. I'm not going to be mad because I had already, expressed to my people, we're not coming, whatever. And then, but I think that sometimes that's not always conveyed to other families, and I think that, my family, they don't like it, but I think my mom has now learned, not learned, but has understood, where I'm coming from. Like, I understand that. Like, I understand what you're saying. Like, your family's going to be on the road. And like, yeah, when we get up at 4:00 in the morning, everybody else is still asleep. Mm-hmm. And we're on the road all day. So, but that was our time. That was.
Do you feel guilty?
Did I feel guilty?
Yeah. Now that you have to, put your foot down and say no, do you feel that little bit of guilt, that little?
I don't think so, because I think that I have done a lot of things over the years for a lot of people, and I've conformed to a lot of things. Like even going out to eat, I'm never the one who picks. Like I'm always, y'all pick, y'all decide where we go, and I'll find something to eat.
Yeah.
Whatever. And
look, both with each other. Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's what happens with him.
He's sitting there like, yeah. Uh-huh.
So, but I feel like you people will get comfortable with you doing that, and then your opinion no longer matters. Mm-hmm. And then when you do stand up for yourself, people tend to still not believe what you say, because you've never been the one to stand up and say, this is what I want, and this is what I expect, and this is what I'm going to do, because you've always took the back seat. So, yeah.
Okay. What about you, Asia?
Of course,
a time I had. Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Like, do you have a problem saying no? Do you have a need to please people? No. Like,
okay, so let me stop. I
usually don't. You're a millennial, right?
Yes, I am. Well, no, Gen Z, apparently, X, Y, one of them.
Okay.
So I'm a Libra, so I already just want everything to be balanced and okay, and everybody to be happy. But like you said, I'm also in the process of learning that it's okay to say no if it's not appealing to you, or if it's setting right with your soul. It's okay to say no. And I think the last time that I had to say no to something was recently. So I am an RA for my school, and I was expressing to my supervisor, I was like, this job is getting really overwhelming. Just being a student and involved in different organizations, and then even this job in itself is just very overwhelming, because you almost have to be, I don't want to say a therapist, but you have to be there for residents, and there's no telling what those residents may be going through. So when they're expressing those things to you, it can kind of weigh on you a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I was just, explaining that to her, and it came that time for us to do evals on the resident or the RAs, and on my eval, I got recommended with reservations for the following year. Mind you, this is my second year being an RA. The first year I was an RA, I was recommended like hands down. So I didn't say anything to her initially, because I was just like, maybe that's just how she really feels, that I have things that I need to work on. And some of the things were valid, but really what I think, she just took me explaining to her that this job is overwhelming, and pretty much was just like, maybe you don't need to do this job anymore. And I think, I don't know if this is really answering the question.
Yes, you're getting to it.
Yeah, okay, because I'm like,
so long story short.
Yeah, long story short, I was gonna do the job, but then I realized, like, no, I'm just doing this job because other people expect me to do this job, and the person I was gonna be working for the following year, me and her have a good connection, so I really think she was anticipating me doing that job. But I really had to come to my senses and be like, this job is weighing on me. I have other things I want to put my energy towards, and apparently someone I trusted to vent to took that and used it against me, and I just don't feel like this is a good environment for me no longer. So that was a moment I just had to come to a realization with myself, like, it's okay to say no, it's okay to walk away from things, it's okay to do what's right for yourself. So yes.
Yeah. All right, little Shanika. Good. That's good.
So what about you? Like, but you said, and what does Justin have anything to say?
Luckily, he's downstairs.
What'd you say?
Oh God, yeah. The last time I had to do. Oh, you know what? The last time that I regret not standing up for myself or not speaking up, we're moving, and Justin, I guess it was like a time situation, and he kind of like picked out where we're moving, and luckily, I was kind of a little indifferent about it, but he really took on a lot as far as, I don't know, was it a time situation where we're going to? Yeah. Because before I knew it, we walked in and she was like, okay, I can go ahead and give you guys your address. I'm like, wait a minute, I ain't even seen the place yet address. He had, luckily I was all right with it, but it just seemed like something.
We had 60 days.
Well, yeah, we were approaching our deadline.
Okay. Okay.
But I've seen a few places since then that I was like, oh, we could have moved there, but too late. Yeah. So there was a situation I kind of like. There was a last situation when I probably should have said something, but didn't.
Okay. All right. So we do have a couple of comments. So of course, Walter says, "Really, Shanika," and then he says, "You get asked what you want to eat." I didn't say I didn't get asked. The question is, but I don't feel like it's something that we need to have a debate about, because I think it would turn into a debate. So I don't think it's something that we need to debate about. So I just tell them to pick. So that's that. Hey, Jan, thanks for joining. She sends hearts. Kiana says, "I used to have a problem with saying no and was a people pleaser. Oh, but have I found my no voice? I think it's a very fine line for me between me genuinely liking to help people and see people smile and be happy, and me being a people pleaser." Okay, between me genuinely liking to help people and see people smile and happy, and me being a people pleaser. Okay, so yeah, there is definitely, I believe, a very fine line between that, because yeah, I think that at one point I can actually say that I was a people pleaser. But I think the older that I'm getting and the more I'm realizing things, and think we're not necessarily doing the things that I want to do, or necessarily watching the movie or going to see the movie that I want to see, or things like that. Like, I'm like, okay, well, that's not, I don't, we're gonna compromise, or I could just go by myself. And when I go by myself, don't ask why, because I'm going by myself because this is not necessarily something that you want to see. So I want to see it. So, whatever. But I think that I'm with you, Kiana. So I think that I'm finding my voice too. And I'm too old to be sitting around wishing I coulda, shoulda, woulda. I'm too old for that. And I don't want to leave this earth saying, dang, I should have went there. I should have had them potato fries, the sweet potato fries, and I didn't. I chose to go over here to the somewhere
Right.
What did you say?
What did you say? Oh, he's hiding in there.
Well, my answer is always no. I just stick my grounds. If
Yeah,
I say
he doesn't
no,
like-
the answer is no.
Yeah.
And I don't change it.
Yeah. He's like that.
No, not debate. No, it's not necessarily a debate, but I just feel like it takes longer. Like, if Asia wants to go one place, Walter wants to go one place, and I just eliminate myself, and it's just like, okay, y'all pick, and it doesn't matter. Like, even if it's French fries, as long as they got French fries, I'm fine. I don't care. Like, as long as they got French fries, that's what I would have. And a salad, some French fries, or soup, I'm fine.
What do you do when you guys have different taste buds? His favorite thing is, what is it? Chicken tenders.
Steaks and chicken tenders.
He loves steak and chicken tenders. I love seafood, and I like different types of chicken. Not chicken tenders. I hate chicken tenders.
Okay.
So it's becoming more and more an issue where we both, when we say we want to go, we're both on our phones looking at the menu, trying to see if there's something that we could both compromise about what we're going to eat. Because I tell him, he definitely has a millennial palate.
I don't like leftovers.
French fries, chicken fingers, and he doesn't like leftovers. I like food.
Right. And I was getting ready to say, like, I told Asia, like, when she was younger, like, you have to mature your palate. So, Justin, it's time for you to move past chicken fingers. Like, it's time for you to mature your palate now.
I eat, but everywhere we go, their food don't taste good. So I have to get some on the menu that I know they can't mess up on that much.
And he don't like beans, peas. Like, I made mixed vegetables tonight, and he's like going through picking out the corn. What were you?
Just the corns and the curds.
He don't no time. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I just think that you have to mature your palate. And then with us, because Asia doesn't, she only eats, so she's a pescatarian. Walter not so much on seafood. He likes fried shrimp. And like I said, I usually can find something, like I said, if they have a pasta or even like a salad or some French fries, like I'm fine. I may not be necessarily happy jumping for joy inside, but I'm okay. I'm not gonna sit at the table with an attitude because I'm eating French fries. I'm not, because I just feel like, because ultimately at the end of the day for me, it's like we're together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, I could go home and still be fine with it. Cause I could eat a grilled cheese sandwich. Like that's my all-time go-to. Like I don't even care. I can eat a grilled cheese sandwich and some French fries and I am happy. So
you talking about we both said, that sounds good. Yeah. Absolutely. Did you have another topic or did you want me to go to another one? It's up to you.
I did have I forgot what we did not cover. You could go to. I forgot which one. Okay, wait. We have to. So go to your next one. We have to figure out which one.
So what we've been doing to I guess deal with this hunker down, sheltering in place. We've been doing like everybody. We've been streaming a lot of shows. We just started watching. We downloaded the BET Plus, so we've been watching some of Tyler Perry's new shows. But one of our favorites that we've been watching. We just finished the season. Was Designated Survivor, which started on regular TV and then it moved over to Netflix. Now they have a lot of profanity and nudity and stuff, so I like that. But there was a situation that came up. There was a guy who he's something for the president. Anyway, his wife is an addict. She's addicted to opiate. Opiate. So she's been in and out of the hospital. Blah 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 blah. Causing a lot of stress. Anyway, he was having an affair, a full-fledged affair with this other woman. And I just asked Justin the question, can you be in love with somebody, really in love with somebody, and still have an affair with somebody else? Not just cheat with somebody else, but be in a relationship with somebody else, have an affair with somebody. Is that possible? Are there situations possible? Because when I looked at him, I could understand why he looked at somebody else. Because she was emotionally unavailable. It was like just the way they portrayed her on TV. He would come home, she'd be passed out on the floor, and then she was just a bitch. So I was like, did he look to her for comfort for the things that he wasn't getting?
So I think the first question. Okay, so we have a comment really. Okay, so we have a comment really fast before we move on. So last topic. So how do you break being a people pleaser or always having a guilty conscience?
Well, my thing is, if you're doing what's right for you, it's nothing to feel guilty about.
Right. And I think that right, because I think that sometimes, again, like I said before, I think that sometimes you have to do things for yourself because you will get left behind and people will begin to think that you don't matter. Your opinions don't matter. Your voice does not matter. And people will continue to treat you like that. So you have to do things for yourself. And then you will know when there's a time to compromise. That's why when I do things, I try not to do things where there's 3 or more people because it's hard to try to get the opinions and ideas and thoughts of 4+ people and trying to narrow it down to one thing. So I think that, I don't always have a guilty conscience because I feel like I have given in to so many other things before that this one thing we gonna do, and you can have an attitude if you want to, but I guarantee you that once we start doing it, you're gonna have a good time. And when we walk away, you're gonna be like, oh, this was fun, this was great, oh, okay, that was nice, or whatever. So I think that the same amount that you give in is the same amount that you need to do things for yourself as well.
That's I feel like too, this last little bit, a lot of times like we find ourselves when we do things and we do agree to do things, like it's for other people. So I feel like a lot of times when we do make decisions, we don't even consider our own emotions and our own thoughts. And I know for me, I'm like that. And a lot of times when people need something, I'm so quick to just say yes, like no isn't even an option in my head. And I feel like if someone's asking you like, could you take me to work? And you got this little bit of gas in your car, like as much as you want to do it, you can't because you don't have enough gas in your car. You know what I'm saying? It's just, like I said, you have to do this for yourself despite the situation sometimes.
And people will be left with feeling like, oh, she fake or this time, and forget about all the other times that you did something, but you can't get stuck there, because I've been stuck there before. Like dang, I'm sorry, you know, like I just can't, like I can't, like I found myself putting what I have to do on the back burner just to accommodate you. But then when I need you to accommodate me, it's not the same.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah. So we have another comment. Kiana says, exactly. Sometimes you just have to choose you and not care what folks think. Point blank, period. All right. So now back to your question. First of all, I think tell me, why do you think people cheat to begin with?
Because it's not love.
Why do I think there are different reasons. I think some people cheat because they're selfish. I think some people cheat because there are unmet needs. I think some people cheat. I think sometimes it can be situational or circumstantial, where you don't accidentally fall into nothing, but like on the show when the who was it? The lady and the guy. She was going through something where her mom had died. It was assisted suicide. She was really sad and whatever. And then I guess whatever elements were there, and they both slept together, and both resented it in the morning. Of course, the wife found out. Blah 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 blah. But I think that there was just a situation where she was vulnerable and she needed whatever she got from that moment. Didn't make it right. That was just a fact. So I think those are some reasons why.
Okay, so with that being said, I think that there is, I do think that people can still love somebody else and have an affair with somebody else because there's things lacking.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I've perhaps built a life with you and I've built these things and I have voiced to you the things that I need from you. But then I also feel like how long are you expecting? And some people would say for a lifetime. It doesn't matter how long that your needs are not being met or things, or just divorce that person or just leave that person or just, do whatever it is. And, what if this person, gets back on the right track? And then do you ever divulge to that person that you had an affair while they was like on drugs or whatever the case may be? Because even with the Tyler Perry movie, that one time when his wife was out in the streets, but he never cheated on her, he ended up taking her back at the end of the movie. I mean,
right.
Some people have that type of willpower to do it, and it's just like, I'm going to stick it through, 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 and that's fine. Other people are just not necessarily built that way. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying that
that's the fact.
Right, that I do think that people just in the flesh, because they are people and you are needing things in the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
And and even excuse me, to be honest, even if you stay with this person, like I wouldn't necessarily say that, even if I wasn't having an affair, I'm not necessarily saying that I would right away sleep with that person anyway, because I don't really know what you was doing out in the streets. Like you're gonna have to be almost a year, like not doing drugs and get tested every 3 months. Like, like I don't even know like how long it would be, even if you got clean, that we would actually even sleep together anyway. So, but I do think that it's possible for you to have love in two places.
Yeah, what are you saying, Mario? What's all those noises back there?
Love in two places. Love in two places. This is me, and I hate to say this. Even with him sleeping with that woman because her mother was in that predicament and all of that, she should have stopped it when she pushed him off and all of that. He opened the door. She had a decision to make then, whether she wanted to go into that room or not. She made the decision. Me, on the other hand, if you would have told me you made that decision, whether it was emotional, whatnot, whatever the case may be, at that time you need to pack your shit, excuse my language, and go ahead and be with that person you decide to lay in their bed with. And this is because I read something a while ago on Facebook, and it said most spouses cheat because it's 20% of something they're not getting at home. So are you willing to risk 80% over 20%? Because if you leave that 80% for that 20%, then you gotta try to fill that 80% because that 20% can't fill that 80%.
Okay, and I could totally respect that, but on the flip side of it, it's like, okay, it's like this. Is it? Because I think it's just two different kind of scenarios. Because I think that even though people and people can say this all day long, it's like people sometimes are in marriages for convenience and not necessarily that they have fell out of love a long time ago. They're in marriages for convenience.
Right.
And it's like you can still be in a marriage, and please understand, you can still be in a marriage and still be unhappy. Like just because you're in a marriage don't mean you can still be in a marriage and still be lonely. You can still be in a marriage and still be a lot of things. So just because it has marriage in it, don't mean that it's all the fluffy things that people think it is. It could be tumultuous behind, inside these four walls. So just because it has marriage attached to it does not mean that it's all great, wonderful. And do I say that that's a recipe to cheat? I'm not saying that, but I'm saying the truth and the fact of the matter is people do cheat up on those things because they are needing their emotional love tanks to be filled, and they're not being filled by the person they have committed to be with.
So with that being said,
emotionally or physically, all of that.
Right. So I've heard of the 80-20 rule. Is it the spouse, if the person who is not getting that 20%, if they go to their spouse and say, this is what I'm not getting, and they talk about that 20%, is it that spouse's responsibility to provide that? And if they don't provide that, are they wrong for going to get that from somewhere else?
If I express to you,
go ahead.
If I express to you, if I come to you and say, listen, we're having a problem in this area, I'm telling you out of my mouth. And if you say, okay, so then, okay, I'm giving you an opportunity. We done talked about it. My whole thing is how long, if you say, okay, I'm gonna work on it, how long is that work on it supposed to be?
I feel like
Come on now, Angel.
If you are my husband, it is your responsibility to do better. If I'm coming to you,
right.
This is how I feel.
Yes,
it is your responsibility. I'm not waiting 365 days for you to get together. If I told you that, I expect you to work on that this week. I'm not gonna be waiting all the time.
At least see an effort, right?
Right. Not that effort is a good start. If you're not making an effort, then I don't see change coming because you're not even trying.
Right. And then when the papers come, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised.
Yes.
Go ahead, Justin.
On your part, it could be some on your part that you're not doing. I hate to say that, but this is me. Your partner is not going to complete you 100%. That's something you got to work on yourself as well. If you want to cheat, get them divorce papers up and get this stepping, because in this day and time, you cannot play with people's feelings like that.
You can.
You in love with you.
And I agree. You cannot play with people's feelings, but on the flip side of not playing with people's feelings, everybody ain't in a position to check themselves, because some people believe that they in marriages and they live in two different marriages. One person got one idea what the marriage is like, and their partner got a different idea what the marriage is like. So when you have different perspectives of what a marriage is like, and somebody think, it ain't me. It ain't me. I don't have no problems. I feel like I'm living my best life in this marriage. And you looking like, what the hell? Like, like you in the
what marriage you in? Like
the same damn marriage I'm in. Like what? Like what the hell are you talking about? Like some people don't believe that. Some people believe that all of the problems are you. All the problems lie with you. So when you're going to have this conversation, both parties have to be open. Like I always say about me, I know who the hell I am. And if you know better than who, ask my mama. My mama know what kind of child she got. She know who I am. So I know who I am, and I know who I am. I know who I am. I know who I am, and I don't need nobody to tell me who I am. Yes, I could be nice, nasty. Yes, I would get in your ass in a minute. Like, don't play with me. And if I have a problem, I'm going to come to you, and I'm not going to keep coming to you because I said what I said. And it's up to you to do what you need to do with what I said. And I'm not going to keep on coming to you, reminding you about what it is that you need to do and you need to correct yourself, because I feel like I shouldn't even have to check you anyway. Because if I'm walking around here and I'm slamming cabinets, I ain't got 2 words to say to you. I'm like, you trying to piss on me and I'm dipping and dodging your ass. Like, no.
So how is someone supposed to have a conversation with you when you act like that?
No, I'm saying after I've told you what it is, and I don't feel like you doing no changing. Yeah, like that's how I feel. Okay, but we do have some comments, y'all. I do apologize. Let me
yeah, good.
Let me go back up. Let me scroll back up. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all chime in because this is good. Okay, Kiara says speak. Jan says exactly. Amy says yes, marriage is sometimes overrated. Kiara says true. Jan says, so the answer to the question is yes, you can still love. However, is it right? No. Yes. Kiana says, oh, Shanika, say that. Kiara said, facts, Asia. Kiara also says, right. So, I'm just like, some people just don't, it's like, okay, people get into marriages and you have this idea, like nobody gets into a marriage to get a divorce. Nobody gets into a marriage to be a cheater. Nobody gets into a marriage thinking I'm going to have an affair. People, I think that when people go into marriages, it's like, okay, when I go to have a conversation with this person, but that it's going to be reciprocated. But when you get in, things change, people change. And, you think you can have a conversation, but the first time, and women are very emotional, the first time you go to have a conversation with somebody, or even a person who's emotional, period, if you go to your spouse to have a conversation and they blow up, like, I don't know what you're talking about, it ain't no problems, it's you, what about that time when I tried and you this and that and the third, and it's like, okay, this is not how I expected this conversation to go. So then do you ever bring that shit up again?
Probably a little apprehensive to do so. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I have a question.
Okay.
I feel like Justin already answered it. He's like, he packing his stuff, he going. But my thing, so if you are in a marriage and your spouse, or even if you're in a relationship, well, I guess the marriage is more serious. If you're in a marriage and your spouse does cheat, would you stay and work it out, or would you leave? And I guess this is the whole conversation, but like, I don't know. I feel like
I think that people are quick to be like, I'm out. But I think that more people will stay. I honestly think more people will stay than would.
This is me. So if I stay, then I should be able to go out there and cheat on you, and you can't say shit about it. This is me. Because if I forgive you, then 9 times out of 10 you gonna go there and do it again.
No.
If I forgive you, this is me. If you get behind my back and then you came to me after the fact and cheated, how long has it been going on? Was it one time? Was it two? Because if you had a whole relationship with this person, and I hate to say it, you slept more than one time, then yeah, you need to pack your bags and you need to get to stepping. Because it ain't like, oh, it was a one-time thing, it happened, it was a mistake, blah, blah, blah. Like I told you, one time was a mistake. 2 times, no, you had time to think about this thing. So then you start going on about your business. The first time, I'm sorry, we were split for a while.
Okay, but let me ask you a question. Because I do think that it's a choice of the person, and I think that once you have this conversation with your spouse or whatever, and they say, okay, yes, I cheated. This is the reason. These are the reasons, whether they're valid to you or not. Do you think that? And if they say, you and I have not been on these terms, and I came to you and I expressed myself to you, will you then take any type of responsibility, or you feel like, no, you're not taking no type of responsibility for anything? I'm not saying for the cheating, but I'm saying take some responsibility for the
responsibility. I don't mind taking responsibility for stuff that happened, but I'm not going to take responsibility for you wanting to cheating. That's a decision you made. So you respect my decision. If I want to walk away, don't tell me, oh, I'm still in love, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear that love shit at that point. Because love should have stopped you from going out there doing that. I hate to say it, that love should have stopped you from going out there to do that. So if you hurt your family, then you need to take full responsibility then, because love should say, you know what? Yeah, he might not be matching up to that point, but I love him enough not to go out there and cheat. To me, love go out the door once you go out there and cheat. So take your little loving ass and love the other person you cheated with.
Okay,
Angry, don't it?
So I suggest
you better not cheat. Don't do it.
Shut up.
Okay, so then my thing. Okay, so that's okay. So then we already know that you do not have a tolerance. You're not going to be a forgiving person. But that's you. Some people are forgiving. Some people are just like, I'm not going to tolerate you being a cheater. Some people are like, okay, let's talk about it. Let's seek counsel. Whatever it is, and then we are going to move on. It would to never be.
I really don't think a person knows until they're in that moment.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So because I think people will talk shit all day. Like, yeah, I'm gone. I ain't know I'm not staying. all this
you
and
invest so much in a marriage.
Right. And like I said, I think that there's more people who would try to stay, even if they end up getting divorced down the line. But I think that there's going to be more people who would try to work it out than would be that leave. So
but
y'all,
if you can't forgive them, then most of them they get the divorce is because their spouse truly did not forgive them. So if I know I truly cannot forgive you for going out and sleeping with that person, me, I'm a Scorpio. I'm not gonna waste your time. I'm gonna tell you, you slept with that person. It's gonna be some years before I forgive you. Because if you need a glass of water, you better call that bitch to give you a glass of water. So if I'm gonna feel like that for some years, then it's best for us to at least separate for a while and let me make my decision. Because I'm gonna hold it over your head for some years. And then, like I said, how would you feel if I was I did it to you? Because 9 out of 10, if you did it to the other spouse, they'll want to kill you, walk out on you, and everything else. So I'm gonna give you the same dose that you gave to me.
Oh Lord, woo, Jesus, y'all one of a kind.
yeah, I don't. What you say? Go ahead, Will.
Oh, I have nothing to say about him. We had this conversation over the head. I'm a Taurus. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm not thinking about nothing he's saying. We've already had that conversation. Same goes for him. I would just hope it doesn't be a situation where he's asking for forgiveness, because I'm going to play the same episode for him and say, bitch, listen to all you said.
No water. Don't ask for don't ask me for nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Exactly.
So okay. So Amy says, oh no, wait, let's go back up. Okay, Kiana says, now Justin, 2 wrongs don't make a right. If you're going to forgive, you need to do just that. Amy says there will definitely be no more trust from me. Amy also says, yes, Justin, speak. Kiana says he is so funny. Will you better have it all the way together?
I'm bothered.
Amy says, I've been in a situation like that, and for me, there was no more trust. Jan said, what if the person wasn't willing to change to make the relationship better? Do you leave? Absolutely.
Yes.
You gotta make a decision.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just think, honestly, I think that if that was me, honestly, I'm gonna be very transparent and very, very honest. I think my initial thought would be, okay, I'm out. The Scorpio in me is gonna be like, wow.
It's not.
The motherfucker.
You said the F word.
Oh, geez.
TV.
Look, we're not regulated, so go ahead.
Right. After I flip, now I'm not gonna burn your clothes because you're gonna need them to go. There ain't nobody doing all that. But after I get through flipping that table, and ain't nobody going nowhere. We're gonna be on lockdown in here, okay?
Until we get finished.
But I think that I would want to know probably like why, because I think that, was it me or was it really your choice? Was it something that I was not providing for you? What was it? And and I'm saying that now, really, but I'm not necessarily sure that my feelings would definitely be hurt. My feelings would definitely be hurt. But I don't necessarily know that my initial thing would be like, okay, I don't know. I mean, but at this point, at 25 years though, I feel like really, and I think that you have to look at the years too. At 25 years of being married, I just feel like you was ready to go. Like, so I would probably just be like, oh, I mean, it's fine. And my feelings would be hurt, but I'm not willing to like make a big, like, yeah, I say flip the table, but I just don't think that I would be just like, okay, I'm not doing all that. Like, it's okay. That's what you wanted to do. You could go, because I'm getting half of your check, so it don't even matter.
Hold on, but Shanika, I'm a Scorpio like you a Scorpio, so I know you can just let them walk out the door that easy.
At 25 years,
over the tables.
At 25 years, Justin, I think at 25 years, I think I would, because I just feel like at this point in 25 years, like, you was ready to go. Like, you no longer wanted to be a part of this anymore. And I'm okay, because I feel like you've invested your 25 years. I know it sounds shallow. I know it sounds crazy, but I just feel like that it is what it is. Like, I feel.
After 25 years, I just tell you to leave, but we ain't gonna sign no divorce papers.
At 25 years, could you both decide that the relationship has run its course and you guys part friends? Not in your specific case, but just in general. Because I don't know if it was this show or the other show, where I had asked the question, do you think relationships sometimes have an expiration date? And it's not that somebody could have done something wrong, infidelity could not have been the issue, or was not abuse or anything like that, but just you get to this point where you both realize, this isn't working. Either I've changed, you changed, or the relationship itself has changed, and just decide that you guys are going to go separately, but still as friends. There's no animosity, no angry, no turning over tables, nothing like that, but you just decide that the relationship is not going to work and you still part as friends. Do you think that's possible? Yeah, I think it's possible.
I do.
Behind me does not think that it's possible to be friends.
Hold on. I didn't think it was not possible. I said for Justin, once I'm done with you, you are trash. I'm gonna throw your ass in that dumpster and I'm gonna leave you where you at. Don't call my phone. Don't call me. I'll you later. Once I'm done with you, I'm done.
I think that it can happen. I think that it can, because I think that it's just a relationship. To me, a marriage is just an extended friendship. Like
it should be. Yeah.
Sometimes you don't stay friends. You don't always stay friends forever with your friends. Like some friends don't stay friends with forever. So, and I mean, and some friends you do stay friends with forever. So I do think, because like I said before, just because you're in a marriage does not mean you're not lonely. And just because you're not in a marriage does not mean that you're having sex. It does not mean that you're still physically attracted to that person. It doesn't mean that you're happy and that y'all are sharing this great chemistry. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that y'all are married. That's what it means. So I do think that there are times when people do just kind of fall out of love and they just stay married just for whatever reasons, because it's just easier that way. And then, you find it that, this person is in one room and this person is in another room, but on the outside, to everybody else, relationship goes, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
But they don't know. Say it again.
Social media.
Right.
Right.
They don't know that you in one room and he in another room.
Yeah.
That's how y'all living. So, I just feel like people need to understand that, just because you see people that you think are relationship goals, it may not be that way inside their home. And people need to also understand that, stop asking people when they get married. Stop asking people when they're having kids and all this kind of stuff, because it is a lot to be in a marriage. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to be in a marriage with somebody. And again, like, just because you're in a marriage, it does not equal happy. It does not equal, all of these things that people may think. You could still be lonely in a marriage. You could still be unhappy. You could still be single. Single meaning you're not acting, but things are happening in your marriage that almost seem like you're single.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just, that's my thought. But we do have some more.
Lots of comments. You want to go ahead and catch up?
Yeah. Hold on. So, Jan says, what if a person wasn't willing to? Okay. Yeah, we answered that. Amy says, Jan, absolutely. Why waste your time? Also, she says, this is a conversation that requires me to speak too much to Key. Jan says, the Libra in me would say, was it my fault? Did I do something wrong? And if so, can I correct it? Now, if I wasn't faithful and he just wanted to be a dog, I'm out, period. Amy says, everything has an expiration. Yes, you can part and still be friends, especially if the marriage or relationship has run its course. Jan says, that was funny. Relationship goals. Amy says, yes, the Libra, Jan, the Libra in you wants balance. Sometimes there is no balance.
Yeah.
Did you have anything to add?
I mean, I feel you can. There is expiration date sometimes. And I feel you can walk away and there be no issues. Because sometimes it just does come to a moment where it's just like, at least for me, now I'm single. And I just don't see how you could just like one person when there's just so many people out there.
Gosh. So you don't believe in monogamy?
No, see, I'm selfish as well. So if I want somebody, I don't want him to want nobody else. And I know that's just not realistic. That's why I'm single right now. But you know, I just feel like once I do become very serious in that aspect, I feel like first of all, you have to the relationship has to be mature enough to have that conversation, because sometimes people would cheat not even having that conversation with the person that they're with. So now it's just like, I'm cheating, but this is the reason why. But then you're looking at them like you never said anything. So I'm thinking everything's good and sweet, but you have never said anything. And that's the issue, you know, that some people do have. But I feel like, you know, when you're mature in your relationship, I do feel like you can walk away and it'd be okay.
Yeah, I do too. I don't feel like it should not be any civility in it. I think that, you know, if you're ending it on terms that it's just like, okay, you know, we've done this and you know, we have beautiful children, you know, that came out of this. We will always remain friends. Like I even said to my husband the other day, I said, I asked him, I said, if we split up and I got sick, would you take care of me if I wasn't with nobody? And he just looked at me. I said, because I would take care of you. Like I would take care of, like if we wasn't together and he fell ill, I would still take care of him.
Look at this week.
Now,
I would be dead.
Hold on.
If I was a bitch, get out.
Hold on. I wouldn't be that dirty because I do work in a healthcare field. On your deathbed, it's still my obligation to take care of you. But if you need a glass of water before that deathbed,
I gotta go ahead and set up a whole death scene.
I'm just saying, I pay your bills and all of that, make sure everything is paid for and all that.
You know what? I have had a lot of relationships in my lifetime, and I can think of maybe one person that I don't speak to, but everybody else, it may have ended badly, but at some point we reconciled at least as friends. And even my last relationship, where I wanted to kill the MFer, you know, we are the very best of friends now. So I don't think, like you said, the basis of a good marriage is a friendship, and even when that love is gone, that friendship should be enough to at least, you know, keep some sort of presence in that person's life, even if it's just, you know, the yearly happy birthday phone call or text.
Right.
You know, I think that.
Come on.
I
I forgive you. Wish you your Godspeed and a blessed ever after life, or whoever you go be with. But don't invite me to nothing. Don't call me for nothing. Don't call me, tell me you got engaged, you got married, and all of that. Go ahead and live your life and let me live mine.
I thought that's good.
That's good. Yeah.
You know, it ain't that I hate you. You go ahead and you live your life. I don't want to be a part of your life. It's just, let's go ahead and move on.
Yeah.
Because I wasted my time with this.
It's because of that. Yeah.
No, it ain't. But based on wasting my time at this point, I don't need to waste my time with you anymore.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay, so Jan says, going back up, when you're married, expiration, they do not go together. I beg to differ. She says, no, I wouldn't take care of mine. And then she has a bunch of sad faces. And then Will replied that, well, he says it's Justin is 28. And then Amy says, they are not supposed to go together in a marriage, Jan, but sometimes life just happens. Speaking about expiration. Exactly. Like, I mean, nobody goes into a marriage saying it's going to expire at some point. Like, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, right.
You know, nobody does. But depending on the age in which you get married too, I think that, you know, if you get married in the growing ages, like in your 18, 19, 20, you know, I feel like you're still growing and you're still learning and you still, you know, I think your reasoning for getting married and things like that, I think would be different. A person in that age range of getting married. And to be honest, I'm not an advocate of marriage. Like, right. I think that a person should be getting married around in their 30s. I am just personally right now not an advocate of marriage. I'm not advocating for it right now. And I know that sounds crazy because I am married and I will be married 25 years this year. But I think that in this marriage, I have learned a lot. I have learned a great deal about myself. I've learned a great deal about the person that I'm married to. I learned a great deal about really what my tolerance level is. So, you know, it what that person's tolerance level is, and that sometimes that even though they may not say it, I think that, you know, sometimes I think my husband is sometimes I feel like sometimes he over it, but he ain't never gonna say that. Like, he's never gonna say that. But I just think that sometimes and that sometimes I think he would be better off by himself because he likes things a certain way, and that's just, I'm not a certain way kind of girl. So you know, sometimes I'm like, you was probably meant to be by yourself, or like with somebody else who was OCD, because I think I drive you crazy, you know, or whatever. But you know, so that's just my take on that. Jan said, maybe I'm confused. So expiration to me is giving up. Divorced, I'm thinking you've tried to make it right. Will says, no, it's recognizing when it's over, when it has run its course, and being fine with that. Amy says, Jan, when you have given all you can give with no results. And then, okay, Will says the same thing. Yeah, I'm not looking. No, I don't. Yeah, I think you may be a little bit confused when we say expiration. It's just like when people like, okay, so I know somebody who Will and I actually Will did her makeup and I did her hair. Somebody we know that got married. I did her hair, Will did her makeup, and this was probably about, what would you say, Will, about 8 years ago?
Was it at this shop or the other shop?
We were at your shop, at the shop you're at now.
Okay, so it was probably about 8 years ago.
Okay, and she is no longer married to her husband.
About 8 years ago. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and she is no longer married to him. And when she explained to me, like, his thought process about things and his willingness to change and some of the things that he was doing did not align with with what she thought. So it was almost like he sent a representation of himself to, you know, like who he was and who he, you know, this person. And then his true self came out down the road, and she's just like, I'm not really for sure who you are, but you are no longer the representation. You are who you are, you know, and she's no longer with him.
That's old too. It's not like they divorced this year. It's been a while, right?
So this was, I think it was pretty much over maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, but it just, like, she just kind of officially kind of like left last year.
Mm-hmm.
So she stayed longer, you know.
The expiration date, really.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people do that for many reasons, because of family, what will people think? Because they had a big old wedding and people bought them a lot of gifts, and they're like, you know, a lot of people say, you know, I don't want to disappoint people, or what would people say, or, you know, or the vows for better or for worse, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Which, to a certain degree, yeah, when it is a lot of effort and a lot of thought should go into when you get married, but it should be a death sentence. You know, you're happy, you're unhappy, you just feel like you're stuck there because of X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Yeah.
Justin, you got anything to say?
Oh, he got an attitude. For some reason, he got an attitude. For some reason.
Don't listen to him. He told me he wants some donuts and all of that. So
I do want some donuts.
I'm in the back of my head thinking how we gonna go.
You won't supposed to put my business out there, though.
I want some donuts.
So I'm
thinking about donuts right now.
Okay, y'all better go get some biscuits and make some donuts.
Who cooked?
Yeah, who cooked them? He ain't like what I cooked tonight, so. But we are going to have, I'm sure, grilled cheese and donuts, right?
Yeah, I'm going to have some grilled cheese. We're probably going to have some donuts. It was good, but...
Yeah, mixed vegetables. Well, I like mixed vegetables, but then I cooked...
He had peas and lima beans and...
It was all in the bag. But then I cooked baked sweet potato, and the thing online said cook it for 45 minutes. I cooked it for like 55 minutes, and it won't cook. It wasn't done.
Did you put coals in it?
I took forks and poke the holes in there.
Oh, okay.
Try it. So anyway, but okay, so I have a question of the day I want everybody to ask. You can either get super deep with it or you can just take it for whatever it's worth.
Okay.
Grain of salt, that's right. Question of the day. So if someone gave you a box containing everything you ever lost, what is the one thing you would look for? Whether it's a physical item or something emotional. Aisha, I want to start with you.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Are you old enough to answer this
let me
question?
see.
Oh God. She still has that.
I gotta think.
Okay. Shanika, anybody else? Let me see. Anybody else comment on it?
Okay, I don't know who that is, but do we know who that is?
What time do you take your clothes?
What?
do we need to block this person?
What?
Jesus.
Who is that? Ryan? Do I know you? We're gonna block Ryan.
What? I don't
He
know.
gotta go. He gotta go. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So.
He ruined the vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. All right. So back to the question. Like, okay. So we need major audience participation. All right. Ooh. Okay. So Asia, go ahead.
Oh, I gotta think.
Oh. Okay. So if someone gave you a box containing everything you ever lost, what is one thing you would look for?
And that's everybody too out there. What you guys? What's one thing you would look for?
Let's see.
There are two things I would look for.
Okay, go ahead.
Material thing. I would look for my mom. You know, I was a spoiled kid, so my class ring. My mom had my class ring personally made and custom made, and it was all diamonds. And relative who was addicted to drugs, he stole it out my room. So I would want my class ring back. And then number two, I would want somebody got me really caught up on my weight when I was a young child. They used to call me Husky. So I've always had this problem with my weight ever since I was like 13 years old. So I would want to go back then and just steal my confidence about my weight. Because no matter what size I am, I'm too big. You know, even when I was really small, when I had the kidney disease and I was really skinny, I always looked in the mirror and I saw an overweight person. So I would want to get rid of that. I would want that confidence back with my weight.
Okay. All right, so we do have some comments. Kiana says myself, and Kiara says my mind. Laugh out loud. My 2008 senior class hoodie. Okay.
I remember that hoodie.
Okay.
Justin, Asia, and Shanika. Walter.
Me, it would be because at one point in time in my life, I would just lose wallets like crazy.
Oh my God.
With money, credit cards, and everything in it.
Yes.
So I would just have to go straight for my wallets because I know it's still money in some of them wallets. That's what I would have to go towards is
condoms and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I was holy until I met you. I was pure, a virgin.
You can let that one go.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
currently I'm missing 2 shirts. 2 shirts back. But on a serious note, looking for I hate to bring it to emotional level. But I think my great grandmother, because I feel like when I was younger, I didn't really appreciate her like I wish I did. And I feel like being older, I definitely would have called her more now, talked to her more now, and just look, because I love old stories. So I feel like talking to her like now, I think that's something that I would be looking for.
Oh, that's sweet.
I always hear great stories about Justin's. Who was she, Miss Virginia? What was she to you?
My great aunt.
I would love to meet her. She was a diva from what I hear and see pictures. I would love to have met her. So yeah.
I just don't want everybody to just be looking at me like, what the hell?
This is what you would go look for. So go ahead.
I think it would be my freedom.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Why are you so shocked?
Girl, you can hear a pin drop.
I know I don't want anybody to look at me like I'm crazy.
We can say free. I understand because of the shutdown, you would like to go out the house. You would like to be able to do more things. I understand, girl. I want it to. Yep. That's right. Okay, don't make me cry.
That's not what I meant. And you know what? The only reason why I say that is because let me just clarify before everybody like, what the hell? What's going on? See already. Kiana was like, what? So, okay. When I say that is because, again, I got married at 21. I don't think that I was free of being, I was single. Okay. So I had that single freedom, but mentally I wasn't free. Like mentally I wasn't free to make rash decisions. Like, I think I made a lot of irrational decisions at that age. So I think that to have those moments back of clarity and of mental freedom to make clear, rational decisions and to think things out and not do things based on my current situations, to have the capacity to think the bigger picture. And so, you know, for me, that's what I mean. So, you know, and obviously being married falls in there, and you know, some other just, you know, decisions, not that was a bad decision, but some bad decisions that I have made. Like I wish that I would just have the freedom to go back and reset some things, because I think that I wouldn't necessarily be in my 40s trying to get my life, I feel like, in order. So
I get it. Anybody else want to chime in with what they would want, what they would go looking for?
Okay, so let's see. So wait. Okay, Jan said, you so deep. Kiana says, freedom of what? Jan said, you don't have to explain. Amy says, my health and maybe my youth, I would do things a lot differently. I understand that. Is that a crying emoji? I'm not sure. Jan said, I'm glad you weren't free because you were rich. Thanks, Walt.
That's not.
Funny. Yes.
So, but okay. Yes, but you find yourself, and again, I always look back and I always say, God gives you what you need and not necessarily what you want. And and he looked at my bigger picture and saw, in the long run, this is what you may not see it now, but in the long run, you will understand that, the path that I have for you and the goal that I have for you.
Oh, if I can find one more thing, I will find my old size back of 115. 190.
That was the first thing I was getting rid of. Didn't expect it to go exactly the size it is, but I knew I didn't want it at 115.
No, that was tiny. That was tiny.
But I'm 190 now. I gotta lose some of this weight.
I like it.
Oh, I read it wrong. Wait, I'm glad you weren't free. We were rich. Thanks, Walt. Oh, got it. Sorry. Too funny, because we were rich. Well, yeah, thanks to Walter, because yes, Walter. I mean, and it's so funny because he was definitely like he was the boyfriend. Like he was definitely the boyfriend to have. But I still think that, for me, I think, I still needed to have a peace of mind, because I think that once I got married, I fell into his life, you know what I'm saying, and not necessarily sure about my life. So I
heard that before.
His life. Yeah, and and I had to kind of, I had to navigate, like, okay, I don't want to be known as Belle's wife, because like then, and I'm like, no, that's not my name. Not my name is Shanika, or whatever. And then now it's so funny because now, when people address me, it's like, ma'am, or Miss Belle, because when I'm out at events with him, that's how they have to address me. And I'm just like, why can't they just call me Shanika? But they can't, they have to address me as such.
That's your last name, so yeah.
I feel. I was in the store at Walmart one day. Somebody said that's Will's husband,
and that's what you're going to do. I'm sorry.
And did you turn around and say,
who? No, that's not who you are. And I said right.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. What were you about to say?
Oh, I feel like what you were saying. Like, I feel like it's nobody's fault that you like fell into, like you were saying, someone else's life. But I feel like when you are young and you make decisions to be married, when you're in a mental space where you feel like you aren't able to make rational decisions, that's kind of just what happens. I feel like.
Is Walter older than you?
He is.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, and that's why when I started dating for real, like I want to be my soulmate. I don't want to just be in a relationship. I don't want that to just be my boyfriend. I just want to be like, we have taken the time to really get to know each other's deepest, darkest childhood, whatever, and be on the same page. Because I feel like I don't know. I just feel like people ain't on that type of time nowadays. But.
I mean, I honestly think that you should be friends with the person that you like. I think that Walter and I talked about things, but I think that now we're like we laugh now. Like I be fussing and cussing him out, and he just looking at me like, "Girl, whatever," whatever, like we laugh, and he, but I wouldn't change him for the word. And like even with Asia, it's like he still puts blankets. Like if we're on the sofa asleep, and he comes and says he still is laying blankets. Like I love that part about him. Like he's still putting blankets on both of us. So I'm telling Asia, like, if you're expecting if you sleep or somewhere and your partner doesn't come and put a blanket on you, like, and that's what you're expecting, or that you celebrate your birthday and that they're not making a big deal out of your birthday, or that, you still expecting an Easter basket on Easter and they not buying you something on Easter, then, it's a problem. So, my husband has respected the things that I celebrate, and I respect the things that he celebrate, and likes to celebrate, and the things that he likes to do, so, and those are just the things that just happen throughout our marriage, the type of, person that he has grown to be. But it didn't start out like that, whatever, but, it grew into that, but, that's kind of what it is. Okay. Yeah, you posting it. So okay, I'm gonna shut this. I'm gonna close this out. But I think we let's go back up. Shanika. Okay, I read it right. Okay, we're back. Jan says my first 10-hour drive was to Virginia. Sure was, and I think in the snow. Maybe it wasn't snowing, but yeah. Jan said thanks, Walt. Kiana says Shanika, he mopped your floors at your job. Yes, he did. Jan said Walt grew us up, BFF, and he did. What. I still needed my own mental space and freedom and thoughts. She also says, Walt, I'm glad you tied her down, laughing my butt off. I love you both. I love you too. All right, so are you got all of your comments, concerns, and questions out, Justin?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Okay. Thank you for joining us, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Well,
thanks for letting Justin join us.
You know that she snuck in from the back. He good.
He had to wash my chariot, so
and we didn't. Yeah,
now he's on the screen.
Okay. Oh well, Steve Duff. I'm not sure who that. You know who that is?
Hey, what are you all?
That's your friend.
Hey. Yeah, just ending the show. We would love to have you comment on a lot of our posts, but tune in next week, same time.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about some more issues. Glad that you tuned in, though. But you can actually go back and watch the replay, right?
Yes, you can go back and watch the replay, comment, and I know I haven't, but I'm trying now that I have nothing but time. I could go back and actually comment on you all's comments. So I like doing that because it helps boost our page too. So look forward to me responding to your messages. So yes, Steve, if you have, please go back and excuse me, please go back and watch the replay. And also, y'all, I mean, I know this is like we're quickly trying to get off. Asia and I have some things coming up starting on Friday. So be looking out for that because we're going to be playing some games online and different things and having a paint and all this kind of stuff. So we're going to be posting that. So please make sure you all watch out for that. And until next Tuesday, I do thank Justin and Asia for joining us. It was really a good time. And thank you all for sharing and commenting. And it's always great when you all participate. It makes everything better. Yes.
Yeah, the kidney walk has been postponed until September as well, too.
Okay.
Donations, everything will be transferred over to when they do it again in September.
Okay.
Also, graduation is postponed to September.
Oh, okay, good. Y'all still having, okay, good. All right.
All right. So next week, everybody.
Yes.
Be blessed. And yeah, hunker down.
Yes.
Stay.
Bye, guys. See y'all next week.
Bye-bye.